The way home from work, you're going to ask, what was my one win today? W-I-N. In my world, wine is win with an E at the end. Because some days you might need that when you're grasping and grasping. What is one win? Win isn't what did I do perfect. Win isn't how did I fix her. Win is just what's the one thing that was a win today that I noticed that made it better. Then you go to sleep, you wake up the next morning, and you ask yourself on the way to work, they say workplace stress would be helped if people had at least 15 minutes to travel to work so they could mentally check into gear shift. But the question in the way to work is, what can I do to be 1% better today? And you notice what might be the chain reaction of this? The one thing I wanted to do to be 1% better with intention tends to be probably connected to the what? The win. Okay? Now, those of you have a choice of how you set up your frame of reference. Why do I talk about this? Is because there's way too much burnout that I see is not necessary. If we just look at how we see it, how do we behave it, and because we all need to have a place to go to feed our family, the workplace, I will tell you, my personal entrepreneur coach, Dan Sullivan, has, if you want, there's on the Apple Store, those of you who have Apples, there is an app called The Winning Streak that he's created if you want to log your wins. It's a very effective way to stay on the half full, because even in the worst day, the worst event, if you go back and look at accumulation of your wins, you will unconsciously change your energy, whether you are fighting it or not. Misery loves company, victims or woe me, and a lot of that is the impact in the workplace. What do you think that does to the patient? The patients choose you because you make them feel better in your presence. And remember, the number 2 reason Canadians say they don't show up to our most critical appointment is every time I go there, they tell me something else is wrong. That's not making them feel better in your presence. Doesn't mean we hold back their conditions, but you can present an entire diagnostic treatment plan of lots of needs and still do it in a positive manner. When's the last time, you know how you know you've gotten to what I call the dental grind? Because dentistry's all trained. Find a problem, tell them how to fix it. So keep that in the oral health. The people part of it, when is the last time you looked a patient in the eye at equal level and said, congratulations, you are so healthy, I would love to have more people like you. You take great care of your teeth. If you can't remember, yes. That, here's a concept in leadership and team. That which is rewarded is repeated. People will not excel in criticism and negative feedback, or fear of making a mistake. That's called the eggshell dance. Eggshell. Ooh, we got to walk on eggshells. I'm afraid to make a mistake. Okay, that's fear of making a mistake is one of the biggest blocks to a better future. What are mistakes? I have to say, wow, I would never be where I am today if it wasn't for the mistakes I made. People go, why do you want to talk about that? That's so negative. Are you kidding? My mistakes are my greatest learnings. I love my mistakes. I'll tell you them. I'll embrace them. I journal them. I post them. The only time it's a mistake is when what? You don't learn from it. What's the definition of insanity? Second law of change, second rule of change. Definition of insanity. Let's do the same thing over and over, expect a different result. My girlfriend called me and she says, I'm getting married for the 3rd time. I go, great. Everywhere you go, there you are. And I can't wait for 2 years after Gaga. You're going to tell me how men suck again. It's your 3rd one. She goes, well, I just had to find the right one. I had to find the perfect person for me. I said, well, maybe. She's mad at me right now, but that's okay. I said, maybe instead of looking out the window for someone that doesn't exist, you look in the mirror to say, what is it you could do different to change the patterns? Oh, you're not a psychologist. I said, well, with you, you make it easy. Because everywhere, who's the common denominator? She's going to call me. I can bet you, I predicted it, I put it in my calendar. Jan's going to call me and tell me men suck again. And everywhere she goes, there she is. Until you change who you are, you can't have a what? You can't attract anything different. Because we can't change them. We can't. Can't change others.